The FBI told us they were going to do better. They said that after the Twitter files and after Crossfire Hurricane that they've made a bunch of changes and they're doing the job of a legitimate law enforcement agency here in the United States of America. But don't think so, and neither does Aaron Mate. He is a journalist who came out with a new set of Twitter files, and we learned that the FBI is helping Ukraine censor journalists like Aaron Mate on social media. They're still doing it. We've saw and seen what they did with the Twitter files drops where FBI agent Elvis Chan was communicating with Twitter and presumably all of the other social media companies to censor people on issues like the election, on issues like the pandemic, and so on. Now it's Ukraine because the FBI and the US government thinks that they should be controlling all of American narratives and all of American speech. So here is the Twitter thread that came over from Aaron Mate on Twitter. And here's what he said. The FBI is helping Ukraine censor Twitter users, including journalists, which is unconstitutional. The FBI aided a Ukrainian intelligence effort to ban Twitter users and to collect their data. Twitter declined to censor journalists that were targeted by Ukraine, though, including Aaron Mate. Okay, so this journalist is saying they wanted me censored. FBI was helping them do it, but Twitter declined. Can you imagine if Elon didn't buy it? He has the full article over at his Substack. I'd encourage you to go read. But he dropped some bits for us here on Twitter. He says, in March 2022, not that long ago, an FBI agent sent Twitter a list of accounts on behalf of the SBU, Ukraine's main intelligence agency. The accounts, the FBI wrote, are suspected by the SBU in spreading fear and disinformation. Okay, so Ukraine says, you've got some bad citizens, FBI. Can you please go get them under control? FBI sends an email. We'll start working on that, yeah. So actually, the FBI got this email. Hey, look who's here again. It's Elvis Chan. He gets copied on it. This came in from Alexander Kobzanets, and that person is the assistant legal attaché from Kyiv, from Ukraine, Alexander Kobzanets. And he's got an FBI.gov email address. So I'm presuming he is with the FBI. He's got an FBI.gov email address. From Alexander, subject is Twitter disinfo request, goes over to the people at Twitter. Guess who's on that list? Yoel Roth, no longer at Twitter, but one of the previous Twitter trust and safety people. Also copied to Elvis Chan and other FBI agents like Mark Kellett, James Butler, and Nicole Kanavnavo, all at the FBI.gov. So one FBI agent or the legal attaché sends another email to the Twitter people and to FBI copying them, saying the following. Hello, Marlena and Yoel. Thank you very much for your time to discuss the assistance to Ukraine on Thursday. As discussed, I am including a list of accounts I received a couple of weeks from the security service of Ukraine. They're trolling around Twitter too. These accounts are suspected by the SBU in spreading fear and disinformation, which is now, I guess, illegal in America. For your review and consideration, thank you, Alex. Censorious intelligence agency in Ukraine communicating to their asset in the FBI. FBI is presumably going to be working on it. We have an attached memo that they included on that email. It says Ukraine's SBU provided a list of accounts that it alleged have been, quote, used to disseminate disinformation and fake news to inaccurately reflect events in Ukraine, according to them. Many people would say that Ukraine's SBU and that Ukraine's government spreads their version of misinformation or disinformation. This is war. The point of having free speech and being able to discuss these things is you have speech to counter other speech. You get to discuss these ideas in an open forum. That's why we have the First Amendment. But when we have foreign governments putting pressure on our intelligence agencies to censor Americans, we have a problem. It then asked Twitter to block these Twitter accounts to provide us with their user data to add them to a list. They said that due to the full-scale war of the Russian Federation against Ukraine, the aggressor state uses hybrid methods of war in the form of powerful information campaigns using social media and social networks. Are you serious? Are you telling me that we haven't been propagandized with Ukrainian flags for the last 2 years? Still get emails with them in there. They're on many websites. You show up, oh, Ukraine, flags all over the place. Our own government was shoving it down our throats. In the Congress of the United States holding it up when they would never do the same or show the same honor to the American flag. So the propaganda efforts by our own government and by the West has been one of the most powerful that we've seen in recent history. In particular, though, they're concerned about several Twitter accounts that have been identified that are used to disseminate disinformation and fake news to inaccurately reflect the events in Ukraine and to justify war crimes of Russian authorities on territory of Ukrainian state in violation of international law. Here's what they're citing. They say, taking into account the above, to stop Russian aggression, we kindly ask you take urgent measures to block these Twitter accounts and provide us with user data. I don't know why, maybe so they can go take them out or something. We express our gratitude for the existing level of interaction. All right. Well, the Ukrainian Secret Service agents, the intelligence agents, they could just, I don't know, respond to these accounts and just say these people are liars. Here's the truth. They don't want to do that. They just want them banned. The Ukrainian government FBI-enabled list of accounts marked as censorship also goes to members of the media. People like Aaron Mate, this guy, he's got 300,000 followers, all right? He runs the Gray Zone News. He hosts the Pushback Show. He's a writer. He's got 320,000 followers. They say he's spreading misinformation and disinformation. Why? Because he's sharing his version of what he has discovered in the world during his reporting. The SBU list that the FBI provided to Twitter included my name, says Aaron Mate, and my Twitter profile, as well as several other Russian journalists. Here's his name on the list. 140 people. Can you please take these people out for us, FBI? In response to the FBI, Twitter agreed to review the accounts, but raised concerns about the inclusion of American and Canadian journalists. Yoel Roth responded. He says, hey, Alex, thanks for the note and for the time last week. We'll review the reported accounts under our rules. But he says, in an initial look, they do appear to be a mix of individual accounts, may or may not be authentic. Some Russian accounts, including state media, already labeled, even a few accounts of American and Canadian journalists like Aaron Mate. Our reviews are going to focus first and foremost on identifying any potential inauthenticity. We'll deal with that. In general, though, authentic news outlets and reporters who cover the conflict with a pro-Russian stance are unlikely to be found in violation of our rules, absent other contexts that might establish some kind of covert or deceptive association between them and a government. Any additional information or context is, of course, welcome and appreciated. So good for Yoel Roth for saying, hey, idiot, no, we're not going to do that. We don't know how you run things over there, but here we can talk about opposing views, or at least we thought we could. It's a lot less of a possibility these days because everything is being censored, labeled, deboosted, deranked, your search banned, your search ghosted, and all the other things to keep your speech limited and narrow. But here, Yoel pushes back. That's not how we do this. But you can see the FBI's attempt to ban Twitter accounts at the request of Ukrainian intelligence is among the most overt requests for censorship that has been revealed to date. And this is, again, an FBI person at FBI.gov. Yoel Roth sends back to the FBI, we're not going to do that. We have the First Amendment here. I know you're the liaison to Ukraine, but don't send us stuff. This is coming from the FBI. This takes a lot of courage for Yoel Roth to respond back to the FBI and say, no, we can't do that. Okay, a lot of other social media companies are not doing that. And Yoel Roth has a lot of faults, no doubt about it. But there were moments and opportunities where he pushed back and he told them this. And apparently they didn't do anything with Aaron Mate. Now, what happened with all of the other people? What was the response? And how pernicious was this? And how did the other social media companies respond to it? Probably not that way. They probably said, okay, sure. The FBI's attempt to ban this was the most overt request for censorship. They described the suppression efforts at the FBI as, quote, assistance to Ukraine. The FBI declined to answer my questions about its, quote, aid to Ukrainian intelligence censorship efforts. They said that while we appreciate your inquiry, Putin stooge, as a matter of practice, we do not confirm, deny, or otherwise comment on specific interactions, nor confirm the veracity of correspondence, the FBI wrote. Just a bunch of just trained monkeys over there. Robots, just, might as well. Somebody probably wrote this, but, gosh, do you even need them? Just give us that statement every time. For those asking, here's the full list of the targeted accounts and the full list of the FBI Twitter correspondence. And so I'll invite you to go over there, follow Aaron J. Mate on Twitter, and of course, you can read the rest of that stuff on Substack. But disgusting behavior from the FBI. Those emails came out in 2022. This was new. This isn't 2016 stuff, 2020 stuff. The FBI told us that they were doing better, that they were not going to be censoring people. But that's not true, of course, because they'll do whatever they can to further their narratives. And who knows what else their interests are in Ukraine. But we know there's many layers to this story. And fortunately, Aaron Mate did not get censored. But who did? And what is the FBI still doing fielding these emails? They're probably not going to Twitter anymore. But are they going to YouTube? Are they going to Facebook and Instagram? And are we ever going to see them? Probably not. Doesn't mean they're not doing it.